Goodness me, yep, I knew it was coming. Hello once again, friends, Romans, countrymen. Lend me your ears. For today we return once again to that thing that I keep telling people I've dedicated my entire channel to, and then only do twice a week. This is our return to the murder mystery with Night of the Kamaitachi. Welcome back, Otame. It's in fact going. And for those of you who might be new in the chat, those of you who might be watching this on the VOD, if you haven't already been spoiled on the solution, I advise that you leave now, because last stream we did in fact uncover the identity of our culprits. This is the part where I paused slightly so anybody who's actually going to act on that information has a chance to leave. Yes, last time we confronted our culprit, none of the alleged freelance photographer Yosuke Mikimoto was the one who committed at least some of those crimes. He did tell us when we confronted him he didn't recall killing anyone named Tanaka. And that could go in several different directions. But then he tried to kill us and he wound up dead for his efforts, so we might know who, but we don't know how, and we don't know why. Means we can hardly call this a solution, now can we? There's only one thing we can do now. Once more unto the breach, dear friends. Let's see if we've unlocked anything new to talk about. He didn't kill Tanaka. I mean, he said the words. I'm trying to remember really specifically. No, the one locked in the cellar was Kayam. He specifically said, I don't want to mess up the phrasing here. Tanaka, I don't recall killing anyone by that name. God damn it, no, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna double check this for myself. The door, Marida's and Mikimoto. Here we are. Mikimoto. That reminds me, Mikimoto never met Tanaka. No, they did not. Mikimoto arrived. That is correct. That is one of the big things that was sitting in his defense, was the fact that Mikimoto arrived after dinner, went straight to his room, came back within like less than a minute to drop off, like within maybe a minute to drop off his stuff, then popped straight back down. Alright, talk to me. There we are. Tanaka, I don't remember killing him. I guess you could say I killed him. In a way. But why did Tanaka travel here all alone, do you think? It's almost like sole reason for being in this lodge was to get murdered, eh? He seemed to go off on a tangent. If he didn't look armed, Mikimoto was acting with all the confidence of a man who was. Alright, that's all he said. It sounds like he did know Tanaka and that he had something to do with his death, so he would know who did it. Certainly an interesting series of words to have heard. Anyway, let's start a new game. Let's see. Last time, after we got our first ending, we did unlock some new dialogue options at earlier branches. The first Mr. Dad after Mr. Tanaka was the part-timer girl, and yes, Midori. And she and Mikimoto were just on the same floor at the time of the murder. And Mikimoto was allegedly alone, so there's no real tricks there if we assume he was the culprit. I believe that applies to all of the murders beyond that point. Mikimoto knocked himself in the head, pretended to be injured, Well, I mean, I guess he was injured. Pretended to be more severely injured than he really was. And then from that point, he just doesn't have an alibi for any of the subsequent murders, unless I'm forgetting something important. Maybe she attacked Mikimoto and he knew she did it, so he got revenge on her. That... He killed everyone because he felt he had to cover his tracks. That raises many questions. I believe Midori had an alibi for the moment he was hit in the head. That was the question of the motive, since she didn't really develop any reason to suspect him until after that point. If indeed it was him she suspected. Whatever the case may be, I don't believe there's anyone present in chat right now who wasn't present for previous streams. So I'm just gonna start skipping, if it's all the same to you, and see if we don't find any branches. Here we go. Skip. Yes, indeed. Let's find out a hidden thing. These all look the same. Let's meet in the lounge, talk to people. I believe this... Doctor, I finished the first story at Hoax Ladies. That's great! Did you enjoy it? You're yelling at me, and you're smiling, so I assume you are. Let's see, which one was the first one? I haven't read Hoax Ladies myself in like a few years at this point. Was the first story the one set in Japan? Because I actually remember the culprit reveal took me by surprise. I was like, what? Yes, okay, yes, I actually remember that being one of the weaker stories, so it's all uphill from there. Right. If we're going for 100% completion, which, I mean, I assume we are, this is, I believe, the only dialogue option here. So the second one to be, it's in Iceland. Yes, I remember that one too. Yes, this is the only option we haven't picked yet, so... There's something I don't get, though. I would like to avoid out-and-out spoil... Who the hell thought that... Okay, that's not a spoiler. Who the hell thought that Spider was at Christmas? No, Otome. It's not spider webs. It's spider webs developed by spiders who were high as balls. And is there anything more Christmassy than getting high as balls? I don't think there is. I tutted and wagged my finger at her. Haha, nerd! Nerd! Shun him. Mari responded with a laugh. And then we get back on the Union. One of the trio, a girl in cat's eye glasses, held out a camera. My turn to shine. I've been holding cameras for other people for years. Looking forward to the next stories. I feel the ending to the first was a bit rushed. Yeah, if there's one thing I will say about Hoke, especially for his short stories, he definitely knew what he was doing. What he was doing was writing mystery stories and not a whole lot else. So once he got to... Can you hear that? Is my mic picking up on that? Okay, it looks like it's not. You all can't hear it, but my dog is losing her absolute shit in the next room. That's... might be a cause for concerns. Okay, it sounds like she's calming down. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Anyway, as I was saying... Nah, I'm pretty sure she just heard the mailman come by or something. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, Hope definitely knew he was a mystery novelist, so he generally ends his stories, like, right as the solution is uncovered. Though I will say oh god, I can't even remember the protagonist's name. The protagonist of that first story is one of the ones who gets, she's the one who gets, I think, the most stories. Susan, that was her name. I mean, there's a lot of Susans in this world. There's Susan, the doctor's granddaughter. There's Susan Deltarune. There's Susan Holtman. There's Susan who works at YouTube. But yeah, Susan is probably the protagonist who has the strongest, like, running arc throughout. So, yeah, it would not be inappropriate to think of her story as just like a first chapter. I don't know how much sense that made. It didn't really make that much sense in my head, but are we done yet? But the girl in glasses quickly waved me off. Manager?
女優の宮崎あおいさんですよね。ほら、大河ドラマに出てた。
That's an deeply unfortunate name. I couldn't believe it. The girls were asking for Mari's picture. It's taken her for the lead actress in a period romantic comedy called Passion Princess. The chubby girl was even sweating. Probably from nervousness.
いいですよ。ね、マネージャーさん。
Mari looked at me and grinned.
じゃあ、シャッター、お願いします。
The girl with glasses handed me her camera. Yeah. Guess I was stuck taking this stupid picture, huh?
はい、チーズ。
Toto, you didn't go on a long, several-page rant about how much you hate saying cheese before taking pictures. Character development. Japanese speaking. Nope, there he goes. There he goes. Mari and the girls were laughing together, having no idea of the mean trick I just played on them. Seemed like they'd already become fast friends.
なんだ、違ってたんですか。私、てっきり。ごめんなさい、調子乗っちゃって。
How could there be yaoi involved if there aren't any men present? That's what I'd like to know.
いえ、勘違いした秋が悪いんだから。
The long-haired girl poked at her friend in the glasses.
ごめんなさい。マネージャーさんだなんて。
It's okay, Toto and Toshio will make this yaoi not gets his head smashed in again. She bowed apologetically as I returned to the camera.
はあ、いいんですよ。全然気にしてませんから。
He lied like a liar. I lied right to her face. Didn't mean a word of it.
でも、マリさんって綺麗だから、つい。
I can make him out also push Toto into bed last stream. That's a whole other type of yaoi. Not necessarily a less common one, but a whole different one. And when she put it like that, I didn't feel the least bit guilty about lying. Since we'd already broken the ice, we naturally started introducing ourselves to one another. Long-haired girl, the one who was complaining about being too far from the slopes? That was Kanako Watase. They're not letting me skip this text, so I assume there's something new here. Now, there we go. Right. Is there anything new here we don't have yet? No, we haven't tried out Robin Williams' impression on him. Which I can't imagine why.
ガチョーン。
Man, I think the temperature just dropped 40 degrees. Which would be great, because it is very hot outside. Mari stared at me without saying a word. Yikes, she wasn't amused. And when it is cold outside, the doctor can finally sleep. Yeah, that's... no. No. When it's cold, it snows, and when it snows, there's footprints, and when there's footprints, everyone comes out to play, let me tell you. Anyway, let's commit to the bit.
あっと驚くためごろ
The expression grew stonier. The other guests were all giving me cold stares, wondering what on earth was going on. There was no turning back now. It was time for my big finale. It's all been leading up to this. This is to go even further beyond. Are we getting a bad ending? God, I hope so. Everyone, take this. My final ripple.
お呼びでないお呼びでないこれまた失礼しました
A hush fell over the room. Mari's face began to tremble, what I could only assume was rage. Money? Hey, we did the thing. We're all accomplished. Good for us. Ari exploded into uproarious laughter.
やめてよもうおかしくて死にそう
There were tears, literal tears, streaming down her cheeks.
こんなに面白い人だなんて思わなかったわ
そう
Hi, Nava. Welcome to the stream. We were just doing our best Robin Williams impression. Fair game. Oh, is it? Have you played before? Or are you familiar with it? We've gotten a few playthroughs in and we have quite a flood of spoiler knowledge kicking around in our heads. So that would certainly simplify my life. I was suddenly happy I hadn't given my series more gags. And yet... Well, I like being thought of as a funny guy. I wonder if that made me seem a little... you know... foolish? I don't know, I think you two are made for each other. I mean, anybody who likes bad jokes can't be all bad, you know? According to a winner of this year's Tumblr Sexy Man of the Year competition. As I looked around the room, I noticed a very strange character. Yep. Oh, man. Just a series of decisions teaches us to never give up, even if no one ever gets your references. A lesson I've committed deeply to heart. Well, we're already getting on well with Mari, so I suppose it wouldn't hurt to keep talking to her. But now that we've got... yeah, we just ask about the Yakuza. Mari tells us to stop staring. Then we eat the veggies. I was interested in picking options. See if Shinano-san looked like you would speak to him directly. Did we ask him before? I think it might have been before you became a channel regular, but yes, I did ask that for. He did not respond. At all. He did not say any words to us whatsoever. Just kind of looked up at us, then went back to eating. Whatever we'd thought. Hey, but maybe he's actually a nice guy. That's what... I mean, in fairness, like... did just look up at it and immediately ask, "Hey, are you a Yakuza?" How would you respond to that? I mean, really. I don't even ask Yakuza when I know they're Yakuza. I didn't say anything so they don't have to pay an extra voice actor. That's it. But wait, no. Objection! That's not possible. This game is a remake of a game that didn't have any voice acting because it was originally released for the SNES. So that can't be it. Anyway, we've got a lot of goodwill built up with Mari, so let's wander it all, why don't we?
バカじゃないの、マリのおじさんって。俺だったら弁護士のままでいるよ。
So for the dialogue we just skipped over, we're discussing the fact that Kobayashi, Mari's uncle, originally wanted to be a chef. Gave up on that for a while. Based on what we got in the other route, spent time as a mountain monk, gave that up, became a lawyer, turned his back on that as well, shut down his practice, then opened his lodge. Guys had an interesting life, I'll tell you that much. Was there even any doubt?
そんな言い方ってないでしょ。おじさんだっておじさんなりに悩んだと思うのよ。
Mari's voice frosted over. Looks like I defended her. Why, no, impossible.
いやいや、そういう意味じゃなくてさ、僕が言ったバカというのは決して悪い意味で言ったんではなくて、いわゆる中国で本来使われてた。
Yeah, the original Chinese meaning of the word idiot. Duck painting on the wall. There is, in fact, a duck. You know, maybe if Mikimoto had ducked when he was out there, he wouldn't have taken that knock on the head.
あ、そう、なんていうか、孤児生句ってあるじゃない。ところでスペイン語でバカって牛の意味って知ってた？
I mean, that's only kinda true. Guess it would be true if you had a Japanese accent. Even then, I think the emphasis would be on the wrong syllable. I frantically backpedaled.
それは知らなかったけど。トール、私が言ってるのは。
I loudly talked over her, as boyfriends are wont to
い
do.
やー、マリのおじさんって本当に偉いよな。夢を追いかける男って輝いて見えるよ。
そう？そこまですごくはないと思うけど。
The fact that her face isn't moving makes this feel so much more intense than it needs to. Her mood seemed to soften slightly. Just gazing directly into my soul. It's creepy.
いやー、初めて見た時から一味違う人だと思ったよ。さすがマリのおじさんだよ。
I was waiting for it. Yeah, I knew it was coming eventually. Anyway, Sasuga
や
Mari-chan.
っぱりそう思う？
By now, Mari was smiling. But it wasn't reaching her eyes. How'd you know it isn't a bonk? I mean, we were just talking about ducks. What else are you gonna do with your points? Dr. Midori already figured out my patterns. I have a very strong sense of pattern recognition. You kinda need to develop one in this line of work. There's only so many locked room solutions under the sun. She was finally back in a good mood. Oh, thank heavens. I mentally patted myself on the back for a job well done.
転職の時はさぞかし大変だったろうね。
そうでしょうね。でもたまたまおじいさん、つまり私のお母さんのお父さんなんだけど、おじいさんはこの辺りの山をいくつも持っててね、土地だけは初めからあったから、そういう面での苦労はそんなになかったみたいなのよ。
Alright, here's this. Next time you start a stream, I'll say bye, good night, and when you end, I'll say hello, how's it going? You'll never expect it. Now here's the part where you're expecting me to go, aha! But you see, you've fallen into my trap. Because now that you've told me this, I do know that I should expect it. But obviously you wouldn't have told me that if it was going to be such an obvious conclusion, so actually you're not going to do that. And that will be the surprise. And now that I've said that out loud, you know that I'll expect you to not go through with that, so I'll be expecting you to do it, which means I should plan for you to not do it. And now that I've said that out loud, you're going to, expect me to expect that, so, shouldn't do it, but if that's the case, then the good option would be to not do it. Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. Hey, what were we talking about? Right, someone's about to die. Alright, do we want to stay here? Yes, we do. We found the letter, it wasn't me. Do I want a job with Kayama? Yeah, obviously. Actually, no, I changed my
やっ
mind.
ぱりもう少しよく考えてみます。
I probably shouldn't be making a life-changing decision this lately, I thought. Kayama kept going like he hadn't heard me.
そもそもうちの会社がなんで不況
He was never gonna shut up, was he? Do I want beer? Yeah, I want beer. Here's Mikimoto. Sir, I would like to argue with you about the merits of drinking beer in the middle of winter. Why aren't you stopping?
じゃあ私はも
There
う
we
3
go.
人分用意してき
Well,
ます
that
ね。
gag's done for. Oh well, guess you'll just have to go sit in the corner. Right. Even if we try to tell Mikimoto about the letter before it's delivered... Yeah, we lower our voice and nobody hears it. So that's the end of that discussion.
ヌードだって。
Anyway, Kaneko will not take her clothes off. It's not that kind of visual novel. Right, then everybody heckin' died. Right, it doesn't matter, I don't think, which order we search the floors. I have a nice day and good luck with the game. Hello, Walter. Welcome back. We're solving more crimes. We did first for last time, I think. Everyone are dead? He's good. Actually, last time everyone, almost everyone did die, but we did eventually find out the culprit. But too late to figure out what we got out of the how or the why. So we're going back in to see if we can't pull the trigger a bit earlier this time. And Otama, yes, we did search the first floor last time, but we searched the second floor for the time before that. And it wound up not amounting to anything. No change whatsoever. Okay, according to the flowchart, we haven't not given Kayam shit. Yeah, that will amount to something. Mari and the others were waiting for us in the lounge. You're the mastermind of the series of events, the duck of the painting. Of course. The only person who could possibly manage to outsmart Duck Detective is... Gasp! Duck Detective! Yes. Wait, nobody, not even yourself. Mari and the others were waiting for us in the lounge, word looks in their faces. Could the killer have snuck into the lodge earlier than we thought? I mean, it's obviously not possible. But what if there was some sort of mechanism hidden inside the room? When Tanaka got into his bed, his weight automatically triggered the machine. And kind of metal restraints shut out and strapped him down to the mattress. Finally, a saw blade dropped down from the ceiling and... I don't remember this dialogue. Could the killer have snuck into the lodge earlier than we thought? All of our previous players I've said no, because the answer is no. It's not possible. So we're going the dummy route. Nah, no way. That sounds like something right out of the latest James Bond movie. Even if such an outlandish scenario were true, the only possible culprits would be Mr. and Mrs. Kobayashi, the owners of the lodge. I couldn't even begin to imagine what their motive would be. Besides, if it really happened that way, the room would have looked like a slaughterhouse when we'd arrived. At the very least, the bed should have looked damaged. So, I abandoned my ridiculous death trap theory. Wait. There's one person who wasn't in the lounge when we heard the window break. It was Toshio. You're here? Alright. If we stay with Mari, do we lose anything? I know we skip a lot of choices currently present. Alright, how long would it take to dismember a body? A bit. I remember in the beginning Toru said the part-time girl should be disguised or something, that she could be any age. I didn't get the vibe he was really saying she was disguised. More along the lines of... just like he couldn't quite peg her age just by looking, which is most people. I was wondering if that would lead into anything. Yeah, one must wonder. Alright. Incidentally... as long as we're here... Tell me, you didn't see this last time, but this was a, if I sound like Mikimoto being the culprit was more obvious than it was, this is a big thing I saw. So if we don't let Toshio come up with us, he nominates Mikimoto to come with us in our stead to investigate the crime scene. When we go up there... snowflakes were whirling madly about the room. It's like stepping inside a meat locker. All of this dialogue is the same. I made a mad dash into the room and threw open the door to the bathroom. As I tried to look inside, I heard a noise from behind me, as if someone had fallen. When I turned around, I saw Mari and Mikimoto hadn't followed me in from the hallway.
Mari, どうかしたか?
No reply. I was getting a bad feeling about this. What if Mikimoto was actually the killer? He'd caught Mari with her guard down and... Nah, it couldn't be. If Mikimoto was the killer, he'd have no reason to harm Mari.
Mikimoto-san.
Note I poked my head back through the door, a crushing blow traveled through my skull and down into my spine. White flashes exploded in my head. It was like a strobe light kept going off in front of me.
Mari.
She was lying there on the floor. The world looked like it was spinning. I couldn't stand up. An unusually warm stream of sweat ran down my temple and dripped onto the floor. No, it wasn't sweat. It was my blood. This is like super obvious and nobody's going to suspect this event. I mean, maybe he's going to, like, pass out on the floor and use the towel under the arm trick again. There were feet in front of me. I tried to raise my head, but that simple act took all my strength. A dark silhouette stood there, but between my blurred vision and the backlighting of the ceiling lamps, I couldn't tell who it was. My world grew dim. The last thing I saw was the shadow, slowly raising something into the air. The shadow! The shadow! The shadow. Here we go, kill me. Oh God, no. I didn't want to die. I wanted to tell the person to stop, but the words refused to come out. I heard a whistling in my ears as the shadow swung something down at me. Then I took for goddamned ever to die, oh my god. So yes, that is certainly an ending. And let's head back to where we were this time. So, Toshio is in fact going to have to come with. Snowflakes were whirling madly about the room. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Decide to check if the bath towels were damp? Well, we know a towel was used. I'm curious what this is going to result in. I gingerly brushed away the remaining snow, doing my best to avoid touching anything. The dismembered corpse began to emerge. This is new, I don't know why it is, but it is. The dismembered corpse began to emerge, looking like I'd liked it earlier. Okay, hold on, let me refresh my memory. Let's see. Okay. The towels were all dry, there was no sign of anyone who'd used them. That's all we got out of that. I don't think that was the correct answer. And we also didn't get the choice to look in the bag this time, so yeah, we're definitely on the wrong route here. But we're getting new content. Which means the bathtub is definitely the correct answer. I was right. Which I can't think of any conclusion other than the culprit didn't hack up the body in the room. Because otherwise there would have been blood either on the floor or in the tub, and if the tub wasn't washed and there's no blood in it, then ergo, crime scene is not this room. Huh, what's changed in that case? Felt my stomach begin to churn.
これをみどりさんが調べに来たとは思えないよ。触った様子がないもの。
それもそうね。じゃあ何かしら。
Mari asked this from a safe distance.
おい、一旦戻ろうぜ。
Toshio shouted to be heard over the wind. I couldn't have agreed more. Feeling even colder than when I'd ventured outside earlier, I returned to the lounge with the others. Everyone was still there, and they all seemed to be safe and sound.
何か見つかったのか?
Kobayashi looked at the three of us in turn.
何にも。どうやら犯人は田中さんの持ち物を洗いざらい取っていったみたいなの。
Remind me to go back and do the, perfect detective route after we're done this playthrough. I'm curious to see how early we can punch this open. My lips were still frozen solid, so Mari did all the talking for us.
そうか。やっぱり大金か何かを持ってたのかな。 それが目当てで。
I'm having a hard time envisioning that being the result of a robbery murder. Kobayashi pondered this aloud. It's the chill of the night. You showed the completed percent last stream, but I feel like we did most of the choices. This... Oh, Tommy, this is not completion percent. I can't go back to look at it right now, but if you'll recall from last stream, we are less than 30% of the way to 100% completion. I stood in front of the electric heater, trying to bring my icy limbs back to life. A scraping sound, followed by a loud thud outside the window. I jumped for a second, then remembered. It was just the sound of snow sliding off the roof.
また驚いてる。
Ah, I gotcha. Ah, I spooked ya. Mary gave a little chuckle. She had you having a little giggle, mate? Yeah, you having a laugh? Is this funny? Something funny happening? Oh, the bust kneecaps, mate.
こんな大きな音がしたら驚くに決まってるじゃん。
Toru, those neurons finally touching? Toru, I had the utmost faith in you. I stopped speaking mid-sentence.
どうしたの？ねえ、変な顔して。
It must have been very weird indeed, because Mari was now staring at me anxiously. There were the beginnings of an idea in my mind, you see? It was then that Toru got an idea. An awful idea. Toru got a wonderful, awful idea. We're going to jump scare the killer? I mean, yeah, obviously. It worked for the purple guy, wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it work here? But it was one I found hard to accept. After a moment, I spoke. Okay, we're here again. If we, Sure, okay, I hope we're allowed to make the right choice. We've got the same decisions this time, but Toru's thought process going in is different. Hold on, let me just... I just want to save my game, come on. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I wonder if we can use Mikimoto. Yes, Michael Mouse Moto. Alright, if I'm right about what Toru is leading us towards, then Tanaka is the one this evidence connects
田中さんを
to.
殺し
本当にわか
窓が割れる音がしたとき、敏夫さん
Okay, no, this is taking
では
us back.
第二の事件を考えてみます。三木本さんが襲われたとき、外にいたのは小林さん。
Right, all of that was the same.
他の人は僕も含めて、ほとんど談話室で待っていたはずでした。
Stream broke for a moment when you skipped. Okay, well, we skipped successfully, which does in fact mean that nothing untoward happened. Which is bad in this case. We are getting new dialogue now. Let's consider the second incident. When Mikimoto was attacked, people outside with him were Mr. Kobayashi and Toshio.
ただ一人を除いては。いいえ、ずっといたわけではありません。
Alright, we're attacking the same person again.
そうやった。
少し考えてみれば、
Alright, now we're here again. Alright, that's a problem. That's the case.
すべての事件の犯人が分かったよ。
Of course I do. You know, this is also the same. Not being able to get to the save load screen. He hesitated related to
みどり
Midori,
さんを殺した
so...
犯人は分かったよ。
みどりさんを？
多分そうだ。
Okay, this is all.
私は今夜は
Alright. Well, we still have yet to admit that we actually don't know enough to identify a killer yet, so let's see where we go.
やっぱり今の時点では犯人は限定できない。
Well, we still don't know enough to identify the killer yet. I thought I'd remembered this to myself, but my voice seemed to have carried. I haven't gone down this branch on either path yet, that's also something to keep in mind. Chad, are you writing this down? I hope you are. It's going to be on the test.
そう、わからないの。トールならわかると思ったんだけど。
Let's overcommit. Mari had been hoping I would know. Strangely, that thought set the wheels in my head turning furiously.
ああなってこうなってあそこで彼がいやだから彼女が
But if Professor Plum was in the library at the time, then how could he have gotten a lead pipe?
トール、何ブツブツ言って。
分かった。
God, he's got it. Perhaps I just arrived at the truth of the matter.
嘘、本当にわかったの？
Mari looked shocked. I nodded, and turned, and began to address the others.
窓が割れる音がしたとき、敏夫さん以外の全員が談話室にいました。
Okay, that's the same path again. What is it with you? I mean, really now. Where do we go from here? I sat down next to Mari, put my arm around her shoulder. Just stiffened for a moment, but said nothing. Well, it's something different, at least.
何するのよ。
Yeah, that's fair. She shoved me away, and I fell off the bed with a thud.
こんな大変な時だっていうのに、見損だったわ。
I flew into a
マ
rage.
リ、そんなに怒らなくても。
Before I could apologize, Mari bolted out into the hallway. I rushed after her, but Mari ran to her room and locked the door from the inside. Had to be FK for a moment. What happened? So all of the answers we possibly could have taken just looped us back to the accused Kayama route. Then I deliberately started shit with Mari just for the sake of making something different happen, and now she's run off and locked herself in her own room.
マリ、僕が悪かった。もうあんなことはしないから一緒にいようよ。な。
I groveled at her door like a cheating husband. No matter how many times I called out her name, Mari refused to answer me.
誰か来ても開けるんじゃないぞ。もし何かあったら大声で呼べよ。
And with those parting words, I went back to my room. I was kicking myself for misreading the situation so badly, but there wasn't much I could do about it now. If anything happened to Mari, I'd never be able to forgive myself. I decided to sit near my door and listen for any noises in the hallway. If I heard anything, even slightly suspicious, I'd be at Mari's door in a flash. Time seemed to drag, and before I knew it, I was asleep. I woke up with a start and glanced at my watch. It was 3:50 in the morning. Jesus Christ, but you're awake at 3:50? God. My head just started hurting just reading those words in that order. I decided to check Mori's room and make sure nothing had happened while I was asleep. The hallway was utterly silent, as if everyone was sleeping. But the lights were all still on. I tiptoed over to Mori's door.
マリ、
I knocked on the door and called out her name. No answer. I pressed my ear against the wood and listened for any signs of life. But same as before, there was only the wind. The bathroom was right next to the door, so I'd be able to hear if she was showering. But there wasn't a single sound. I grabbed the knob and gave it a twist. The door opened so easily it was almost anticlimactic. That's not a good sign.
マリ、いないのか？
Just then, I heard a scream from downstairs. Yep, here we are. Right back on this road again. But hold on. Alright, that didn't take us anywhere. You know, I was curious. There were a few things I didn't put in here. We know who the killer is, obviously. I'm curious if they're gonna have any unique... What if I say the killer's Tanaka? He was in pieces. God only knows what was done with his body. Tanaka. That couldn't be. Tanaka was unmistakably dead. In that case, I had no choice but to assume those three girls... Ah, boo. Come on, it could have been him. It could have been him easily. Alright then, in that case... Well, the game is called Kamaitachi no Yoru. Maybe the killer is a Kamaitachi. No, there was no such person. You don't know that. What about the cat? The cat disappeared. Alright, sure, we can search for we can accuse Jenny of all the murders. The killer is Jenny. Jenny. No, Jenny was a cat. Was I getting so confused? I was just latching to the first name that came to mind. No, I had to keep calm. Just keep calm. Alright, who else? Who could it have been? Maybe it was Kayama after all. We don't know. Kayama? No, it could be him. Kayama was unmistakably dead. That is the same generic dialogue. We'll eventually find an interesting branch. I don't know. Killer is Kobayashi. Kobayashi. No, it couldn't be him. Kobayashi was unmistakably dead. He had both his hands on the weapon. It could have been a suicide. Come on, Toto. Think for once, goddamn life. Alright, if that's the case, then... can we branch? Let's tamper with...
ガチョーン
with our I feel like the hive mind girl is definitely interesting on a dame. Yeah, me too. Let's abandon our Robin Williams impression and see if that takes us anywhere.
つまらないことやってなんだか照れくさくってさ
I quickly tried to explain.
どうして？
Oh, he looked at me innocently. I stammered out a reply.
つまりその恋人同士みたいっていうか
あら、私たち恋人同士じゃなかったの？
Oh my god. If Total like spontaneously combusts to this, I won't be that surprised. Seeing me so panicked, I burst out laughing.
冗談よ、冗談。はあ、お腹すいた。あ、来た来た。
Here come the foods. Mari's aunt Kyoko, assisted by Midori the part-timer, brought the dishes out to the table. But yes, I knew of her. Alright, we are here again. Alright, that didn't change anything. I hadn't even noticed when we were going earlier. There's a whole branch over here we haven't really done anything with. Let's talk about stuff. Talking about stuff means information.
ユークリッド幾何学においては2点間の直線はただ1本に決定されるが非ユークリッド幾何学では無限に存在し
Alright, Chad, are you paying attention? This is also going to be on the test. It's a multidiscipline approach. You see? Of course, if the culprit was able to move through non-Euclidean space, that would answer a lot of
やめてよ。
questions.
こんなところで数学の話なんて。
And it could be if you weren't such a coward.
ごめん
That was a bit too unrelated. Tried to think about something else to say. Our food arrived. I thought, go. Hey buddy, are you a Yakuza? No reply, he just kept right on eating his soup. With a fork. Like an absolute madman. Given the lack of response, I guess the man wasn't a Yakuza after all. I'm sure he hadn't taken his sunglasses off. But maybe they were a memento of his late parents. Or maybe they had a tiny built-in radio and he was listening to some sad folk songs right now. Whatever the case, I forgot about it the instant our food arrived. Where are we right now? Alright, let's insult Uncle Kobayashi some more.
あのおじさん
But strangely, that made me feel closer to him somehow.
ふらふらって言うけど、おじさんは一度は全日本最優秀山伏大賞も取ったのよ。
They have Yamabushi prizes? How does an aesthetic go down to pick up a prize? Well, I don't know what a Yamabushi is. That's a mountain monk. We discussed that earlier. Right, he was a monk after he was a chef, but before he was a lawyer. Because that's the sort of life he led, apparently. Oh, I seemed a little miffed.
全日本最優秀山伏大賞そんなもんあるの
そう。200年以上前から続いている権威ある賞なんだから。ホラ貝が苦手って言っても努力した上でのことだったのよ。
How do you judge how good a monk is, anyway? Do you get points for being able to recite prayers at high speed? For knowing kung fu? For lending your voice to a voice synthesis program? I mean, I need to know the qualifications here.
それはおみそれしましたいやだったらやめるときは大変だったろうね
うん、そうでしょうね。でも、たまたま。
And yep. Papa's rich. The richest monk earns it. That seems counterintuitive.
わかりました。
そうか。
学校
すみません、加山さん。やっぱ
Right. Sound of loud footsteps. Mikimoto returned from the grave. Alright, come on, give me something I haven't done yet. Without thinking, I reached out and gently touched her hand. The moment our fingers made contact, Mari stiffened slightly, but she didn't move her hand away. See, last time... Quack indeed. Yeah, sure, let's do
マリ
this.
僕と結婚してくれ。
You know, fun fact, kekkon is the Japanese word for marriage, but it's also homonymous with kekkon, the Japanese word for bloodstain. Now you know. I proposed to her, on the spot. Everyone in the dining room turned to look. Mari just glared at me in annoyance.
ソウル、熱でもあるんじゃないの？
I mean, yes, actually, but that's not related to what's happening right now.
冗談だよ。冗談に決まってるじゃないか。
Party har har. As I forced myself to laugh, our food arrived. Wait, no, hold on.
大変なんだろう
Hold
な。
on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, look, it bumped. It's got a little hook. It's like a little goal, and there's the trajectory of the goal going through.
マリの手。
トール、それ灰皿よ。
Oh. What if there's a hidden branch in the very first choice? Somehow I seem to have ended up stroking a white ashtray in the shape of a seashell. The shape of a seashell. Was the seashell sold by Sandy or Cersei the Sorceress for 60 cents? Because that'd be a very bad place to sell seashells, you can just pick them up around anyway. I looked around the room to cover up my embarrassment. Anyway, let's talk to this guy so we can find out that he isn't talking to us. That feels like a path. Try to act like a normal human being just in case that counts for anything. Alright, come on. Bring on the bacon, and by bacon I mean bodies. How do you stop? How do you stop? Come on. Alright. Maybe there's a branch where we go outside in the snow. Oh, the game crashed again. That's not a good sign. Give me 1 second. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Don't know if it's the patch or a problem with the title or what. If it stops us from getting our 100%, that's gonna be very bad. It's been a while since we actually sat down and watched the opening. Let's let this roll through. For content. Sorry, I can't read that. Oh, don't do that, that's creepy. Seriously, they're like just little balls of gelatin. Gaining their shape after being dropped off a cliff. What's that report on that 2 billion yen bank robbery? We haven't gotten that back yet. Tied that to anything. Yeah, reach for the sky. Oh god, spoilers. Is the fact that people die in a murder mystery game really the biggest spoiler? Where'd the gun come from? The factory, probably, if I had to take a guess. And... Yep, there's our endpoint. Maybe there's a branch where we go outside in the snow. I remember there was a choice to go left or go right. Alright, how much progress did we lose? 3, 4, 1, branch we go outside in the snow. There is a branch when we go outside, but... yeah, you can see here, right or left, right or left, right or left. They all connect and do eventually go back to the same place. We cannot get completely lost just outside of the cold. We are right next to the building, after all. Okay. Maybe if we flirt with the ladies differently, it'll change. I licked my lips.
あら、どうかした？
Mari had accidentally elbowed me in the groin.
なぜ僕はただ質問に答えただけなのに。
I was nearly in tears from the excruciating pain.
すいません。シャッター。
ああ、わかった。
どうせ私はブスですよーだ。
Yes.
そんなこと言ってないじゃないか。マリだって十分綺麗。
I hurried after her. Alright, and she defrosts immediately. That means there's a decent chance we're not actually connecting any of these points together. And what do we even have left to do at this point? You're right, maybe we do have to go back from the beginning. Let's see if this doesn't break anything. Let's see. We are here. Which one do you love? Okay. Maybe if... Is it what I was saying earlier? Is it just a matter of... getting through... C? I mean, C is what we just did. Well, I mean, we can get our...
髪の長い子だな。
Get our progress towards 100% while we're in the area. And let out a whole whistle. I believe Toru is going to be the first victim.
あら、ごめんなさい。
Margaret stepped on my foot as hard as she could.
なぜ僕はただ質問に答えただけなのに。
I was nearly in tears from the excruciating pain. Maybe if we just act like a piece of shit, the game will decide. The game will kill us faster. And that would always be an improvement. Oh yeah, sign me up. Alright, so I actually know does just get us directly to a bad ending, so that would probably...
いや、それは違うな。南極でストーブを思いっきり焚いて、アイスキャンデー食うこっちゃな。
Anyway, what is better than drinking a beer in an air-conditioned room, I must ask you?
違いますね。赤道直下で冷凍庫に入ってその中で。
もういい加減にしてよ。なんで冷凍庫に入らなきゃならないわけ？黙って飲みなさいよ。
Comedy. Humor, even. Laughs and giggles and chuckles. Kimono's eyes widened in shock.
あれテーブルに出す前につまみ出しといたはずだがな。
Kobayashi tilted his head. The room went silent. Everyone looked utterly horrified.
嘘冗談ですよ。もう皆さん簡単に引っかかるんだから。
Kobayashi waved his hands in the air and himself a good laugh. Keiko put a hand to her chest.
よかった。私スープ5杯もおかわりしちゃったから。
Sheesh, Keiko, it's not an eating competition.
あのペッションの方ですか？
Fat pig. You absolute sow. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, what are we missing here? Oh, hey, it's... Person died, that's pretty poggers. And Atome is also redeemed to hydrate. I'm getting mixed messages here, lady. See, I think I remember there being... I think... there was... You're here... Alright, yes, here we are. There's unchosen options here. We've already picked option B. So, what if the killer came in through the front door, but nobody saw them? The killer came in through the front door, but nobody saw them. Aha! I derived the truth of the matter. I wasn't suggesting the killer was invisible or anything. No, the killer had been quite visible. Or rather, they'd been in a mental blind spot.
どうしたの？鳩が水鉄砲を食らったみたいな顔して。
Mari gave me a little smile.
それを言うなら豆鉄砲だろ。
Yeah, strike that, reverse it. Unless it's a very large canary. I could in fact eat a cat or basically anything else it wanted.
いいじゃないの、どっちでも。それで一体どうしたのよ。
Those neurons finally touching?
真相が分かったんだ。バラバラ殺人の犯人がね。
Yoru, you're impressing me. Can't wait to see how you disappoint it. Everyone looked at me in surprise.
本当かね？
Kobayashi seemed especially astonished.
犯人って、まさか私たちの知ってる人の中に犯人がいるって言うんじゃないでしょうね。
Mari looks nervous.
残念だけど、そういうことになる。
そんな。
Well, it is one of us, that's what we know. The next words out of my mouth were... Okay, what do we want to do here? Do we want to jump on the real culprit right out of the starting gate? Or do we want to move around a bit and increase the completion percentage? Because I am down for anything. Let's do something stupid first. Of course!
犯人は僕だ。
Oh, sorry, Atome, I jumped in before I saw. I'll do it next round. Yes, I was the culprit the whole time, and the reader never suspected a thing. Everyone's jaw hit the floor. Their faces all wore the same look of mute shock. And for good reason. Even I was surprised, and I was the one who'd said it.
トール、あなた一体本当なの？だとしたらなぜ？それにどうやっていつ？
Hey, that's most of the title of this stream. It's pretty neat. I struggled to find words. Have you tried checking a dictionary? Maybe a thesaurus if you've exhausted it already?
さあ、
さあって、君。
Saw is probably was used to hack up the body like that. Kobayashi stared at me, suspiciously.
君がやったんとちゃうんかいな。
Kayama scowled at me.
今、君、犯人は自分だって言ったよな。
I've seen this expression in Kobayashi before. He's very... it's almost sad. I mean, the guy he met a few minutes ago and has already decided he's going to marry his niece just confessed to murder. Who wouldn't be upset under those incredibly relatable circumstances? Tasha reminded me of what I'd said a moment ago. You know, just in case I'd forgotten.
いや、だから。
As I floundered about, Kayama fixed me with a deadly stare.
だ だからなんやねんな。男やったらはっきりせんかい。
Why had I told them I was the killer? What was I even thinking? Was I just trying to see every possible outcome of this setup? Why would that matter to me? Needed to clear this whole mess up somehow. I couldn't have everyone thinking I was actually a murderer.
いやですから僕はこう言いたかったんです。いいですか？
I cleared my
犯
throat.
人は僕だということだけはまずありえないと。
Room erupted into slide whistles.
なんやねんなそれは。
ややこしいこと言うなよな。
マリちゃん、こんな男をフィアンセにするのはやめなさい。
Pity, and we got along so well. She was such a big fan of my Robin Williams impression.
元からフィアンセなんかじゃないわよ。
I was getting torn to shreds here. I loudly addressed myself to the group once more.
その後本当の犯人の名前を続けるつもりだったんですよ。それを皆さんが勝手に早合点したんじゃないですか。
ほら、ほんまの犯人は誰やねんな。
それは
Had to redeem myself here. The next words out of my mouth were... The killer is Mori.
犯人はマリ、君だ。
Let's just look on the flowchart. Yeah, that is a circle. So we are back on track. Mari looked at me in shock.
トール、それ本気で言ってるの？
She was staring daggers at me. As I babbled incoherently, Mari erupted at me.
そんなはずないでしょ。私たちずっと一緒にいたじゃないの。
そうでした。すみません。撤回します。
I hastily withdrew my accusation.
デタラメ言うのなら黙っててよね。
I mean,
今
maybe.
度本気で推理したから。
じゃあ誰よ？
Alright, there we go.
本当の犯人は当然僕でもなければマリでもなく。
Alright. So what's the play here? Do we want to accuse the correct culprit or do we want to accuse Jenny? Let's accuse Jenny. Do we even know who Jenny is yet?
ジェニーだ。
So I declared.
ジェニ
Jenny? From the block? Mari gave me a strange look.
ー？さっき私たちの知っている人の中に犯人がいるのって聞いたらそうだって言ったじゃない。
ちょっと出任せ行ってみたかったのさ。
I laughed and puffed out my chest.
何よ、人が真剣に聞いてたら最低。
She was majorly pissed.
ごめん。犯人はと
Alright, what now? Fine, Mikimoto. We wanna just pull the trigger on Mikimoto right now? Is that the game? Okay. If we're done messing around here.
犯人は三木本さんだ。
I don't see any other funny options. That's your problem. I stated it decisively.
三木本さん？三木本さんですって？三木本さんはここに到着してからほとんど談話室にいたのよ。
Mari immediately objected.
2階に上がったのは確か。
Mari looked up as she searched her memory.
そう、荷物を置く間だけだから2分とかからなかったはずよ。一体どうやってそんな時間で田中さんを殺し、その死体をバラバラにするなんてことができるっていうの？
Mari seems to be taking Himura's side here. Did she have the hots for him or something? imagining all sorts of sordid scenarios, and continued on. Well, obviously it's not impossible.
三木本さんが実はもっと早く到着していたとしたら、田中さんをバラバラにするのも可能になる。
Or is it actually? I'm curious. As I've said a few times here, I already know the solution to this trick specifically. So I'm curious. Tommy, do you think you have any leads here? I know Mikimoto is a culprit, but he did say he only kind of was responsible. I think he didn't kill Tanaka. You're right, it's impossible.
そんなことはできないね。
I got straight to the point.
でしょ？もうちょっとよく考えてから言いなさいよ。まったく。
Mario was basically calling me a total idiot. Refusing to get flustered, I kept talking. Maybe he didn't have time to dismember Mr. Tanaka, but he still could have killed him. Fine, so he didn't kill Mr. Tanaka, but he could very well have killed Mr. Suzuki. That's my response. Or anyone else who feels like weighing in, or just keep stalling out time until I decide to pull the trigger here. I think it was said Kobayashi's the only ones who could be in the lodge early enough to kill Tanaka, but Toru didn't know what motive they could possibly have. That was a pretty ridiculous joke answer. Part-time workers should be in early too. I mean, the question is not who was in early enough to kill Tanaka. We have seen Tanaka alive. The who could have been early enough would involve, like, you know, installing a ridiculous booby trap with buzzsaws and stuff. That's not a thing that happened. So the real question here is, how could someone have dismembered Tanaka when everyone has an alibi for at least 30 minutes? Who the heck is Mr. Suzuki? That's an excellent question. Would you like to find out? I think it's a joke answer. Okay, but is it a joke answer you wanna try out? We're at a minefield at this point. Sure. Okay, you asked for it.
田中さんを殺すことができなかったのは確かだけど、鈴木さんなら殺せたんじゃないかな。
鈴木さんって誰よ？
Ma looked at me. Curiously.
適当に言っただけさ。本名は知らないよ。アメリカじゃ身元不明死体のことはジョンとかって呼ぶらしいけどね。
一体どういう意味よ？
つまりあのバラバラ死体は誰のものかわからないけど、田中さんじゃないって言ってるのさ。
田中さんじゃない？じゃあ誰よ？
だから誰のものかわからないんだって言ってるだろ。いいかい？三木本さんにも他の誰にも田中さんを殺してバラバラにすることはできなかった。しかしあそこにバラバラ死体はある。ということはつまりあの死体は田中さんじゃない。そういうことだ。
Tanaka couldn't have been dismembered. Of a dismembered corpse. There you go, the dismembered corpse is not Tanaka's. You following along so far, children? It's only going to get more complicated from here.
なるほど。犯人が分かった代わりに、今度は被害者が分からなくなったってわけか。
Toshio laughed derisively.
しかし、そいつは変じゃないか。
Kobayashi raised an eyebrow.
被害者が田中さんでないのなら、一体どこから入ったというんだ？
もちろん正面ドアからですよ。
そんなはずはない。ドアが開けば奥でチャイムが鳴るようになってるから、たとえフロントにいなくても見逃すはずはないんだ。
それはそうでしょう。 一人で入ってきたのならね。でも誰かと一緒なら別です。被害者は田中さんと一緒に入ってきたんですよ。
Gee, what if the Tanaka we saw was Mr. Mikimoto in disguise and someone else killed and cut up the real Tanaka?
一体何を言ってるんだ。あの人は一人だったよ。間違いない。
Kobayashi confirmed his recollection angrily.
スキーバッグの中を確かめましたが、被害者はその中にいたんですよ。すでに殺され、バラバラにされた姿でね。
The girls all gasped in unison. They held their hands over their mouths as if they might get sick.
じゃあ死体をバラバラにしたのは。
I started to catch on.
そう、運びやすくするためだったんだ。だいたいあんな短時間で人間をあそこまでバラバラにできるわけがなかったんだ。マリ、あの脅迫状を覚えているかい？
ええ。
Piece of paper the girls had been raising such a fuss about earlier in the evening.
あれの文面からすると、犯人は死体の発見が12時頃になると考えていたようだ。発見が早すぎたのが犯人にとっては最大の誤算だったね。
Yes, the someone will die around midnight note finally gets an explanation. The culprit wasn't expecting us to find it that soon.
ちょっと待って。じゃあ犯人は部屋の中に死体を置いて窓を割って2階から逃げたのね。
ちょっと違う。2階から逃げるのに窓を割る必要なんかないだろ。
Everyone looked at each other in confusion.
確かによう考えてみたら窓を割る必要はあらへんな。
Just gotta open it. Those can be opened, you know. That's not illegal. Not yet, at least. Kayama stroked his chin.
侵入するんやったらともかく中から外へ出るんやったら鍵開けたら済むことやさかいな。ほな、なんで窓なんか割ったんや。
僕たちの注意を引くためです。あの音で僕たちは何かあったことを知り、その結果全員であの部屋へ駆けつけました。犯人はわざと僕たちが死体を発見するよう仕向けたんです。
どうしてそんなことを？
Mari asked me a logical question.
実際の犯行時間を誤認させてアリバイを作るためだよ。
There we have it.
アリバイ？でも窓を割った時犯人はまだあの部屋にいたわけでしょ？アリバイなんてどうやって？
Honestly, this is probably the simplest part of the entire case. I'm surprised it's taken anyone this long to figure out.
もちろんあの時犯人はとっくに部屋を抜け出してたのさ。窓が自動的に割れる仕掛けをした上でね。
Mechanism to break the window
自動的に割れ
automatically.
る仕掛け？どんな仕掛けを？
Great, thanks for asking. Mari was demanding details, so I gave it some more thought. How would something like that work? Of course. They must have used Jenny the it's the snow. It's snow falling off the roof. There's a little like seesaw made from a plank of wood and two rocks at the bottom. It's incredibly simple. It's Jenny the cat, it has to be. Right. They must have used Jenny the cat. I pointed to the black cat curled up at Midori's feet.
その猫が一役買ったに違いありません。
ジェニーが何をしたっていうの？
Does Jenny have to do with this murder? Midori scowled and tried to shield the cat.
例えば、その猫に睡眠薬入りの餌を食べさせて眠らせておく。
Of course. I spoke slowly, trying to think it through.
窓の鍵は開けておいて、つっかい棒のようなもので窓が開かないようにしておく。 そのつっかい棒と猫の首輪を紐でつなぐ。やがて猫が目を覚ますと動き回り、つっかい棒が外れる。この強い風で窓は揺さぶられ、壁に叩きつけられてガラスは割れる。
確かにジェニーは今日しばらく見かけなかったわ。本当にこの子が。
You weird baby girl. Midori seemed unnerved as she looked down at the cat by her feet. I was glad to see no one had any objections to my theory so far. But...
ちょっと待ってよ。
Midori interjected.
あの部屋には鍵がかかってたのよ。ジェニーはどうやって部屋から出たの？それに首につないだ紐はどうなっちゃったの？
鍵？そういや、そうだね。どうやって出たのかな。
She got out then. I hurriedly looked around at the others.
わかったわ。
Mari seemed to have come up with the answer.
どうやって出たか分かったの？
I was all excited, but Mari shook her head.
違うわよ。あなたの推理は間違ってるわ。犯人は猫を使ったんじゃないの。雪よ。雪を使ったのよ。
Yeah, there we are.
雪？
I could only parrot the word back at her, like an idiot.
そう、雪よ。
Mari continued on, confidently. Like an idiot who thought a cat could be used to create a broken window in a locked room, without being in a locked room. You doofus.
窓は確か外開きだったわよね。
Makes me like the CG of the cat that appears the completion percent worth it.
犯人が外に出るときに片方の窓を使ったとして、もう片側は固定しておくの。
Have we been told about this? I mean, I guess we saw them in the CGs already, but this doesn't feel completely fair.
と言っても、風で煽られても動かない程度でいいんだけど、その固定した方の窓の取っ手に適当な長さのロープを軽く引っ掛けて、そのロープの反対側には何か平たい板みたいなものをつないでおくの。そう、スキーバッグの底板でもいいわね。
Yep. A trick should only require the pieces that you had on hand. Best case scenario, you might bring a length of rope from outside, but that's about it.
窓と板をロープでつなぐわけ？それをどうするの？
I didn't want to just sit there like a lump, so I asked the question as if I were speaking for the group. Like a jump. Like a jump. Like a jump. Like a jump.
外へ飛び降りる前に、その板は屋根に積もった雪の中に突っ込んでおくのよ。
なんでそんなことを？
そうすれば、ある程度時間が経った段階で雪は滑り落ち、一緒に板も落ちる。
Down they go.
窓は勢いよく引っ張られ、外壁に叩きつけられ、ガッシャンというわけ。板とロープは窓から外れて雪の下に埋もれてしまう。
Yep, as soon as I first saw that clump Okay, how much did you all miss? How much did you all miss? You're saying about as soon as you saw. As soon as I saw that first clump of snow fall off the roof during the prologue section, I knew, okay, yeah, they're gonna put something either on that or under that, and that's what's gonna break the window. Seen it a million times before. Really, I didn't notice that at all. Oh yeah, it's appeared in the Kamaitachi case files, it's appeared, I think it showed up in Detective Conan. Snow is an incredibly useful substance for murders, let me tell you. Should just make it illegal. It's more dangerous than guns at this point. Kobayashi nodded in admiration. Mari continued on.
そうね。でもそれだとアリバイとしちゃ不完全じゃない？この天候できちんとしたアリバイの作れる場所まで行くのに一体どれくらいかかるかしら。雪が落ちる時間を正確に予想することは難しいでしょうし、しかも窓が割れた時間を私たちがはっきりと記憶している必要があるわ。
確かに。でもそれってひどく偶然を当てにした計画にならないか。
Toru, who's the one making the accusation here?
そうね。それだけならね。
Mari nodded as if she'd already taken that question into consideration.
だから犯人はもっと周到な計画を立てていたのよ。いつ窓が割れてもその時間に確固たるアリバイが作れるような、そんな計画をね。
そんなことできるの？
Mari didn't answer. Instead, she turned and looked at everyone else in the room. She stopped on one face in particular.
この吹雪の中、立ち往生してしまう危険を冒すよりずっといい方法があるわ。服も髪型も変えてこのペンションに戻ってきて、私たちと一緒に死体を発見する。
And there we have it.
ねえ、その方がいいと思いませんか？三木本さん。
Everyone, including me, immediately turned to look at Mikimoto. He locked eyes with Mari and didn't move a muscle. Mari kept speaking.
田中さんはずっとサングラスをしてましたし、誰とも口を聞こうとしてなかったわ。サングラスを外し、服を着替えてつけひげをつければもう、私たちにはそれが田中さんであるとはわからないはずです。
With everyone staring at him, Mikimoto began to laugh.
それじゃあ僕はまるで怪人二重面相だな。不可能犯罪と変装の名人ってわけか？
A true fiend of two faces.
変装の名人じゃなくたってそれくらいできますよ。私たちは誰も田中さんの素顔を知らないんですから。
And as I believe I've mentioned a few times now, when we found the dismembered body we were calling Tanaka, there were multiple cuts on the face.
じゃあそういうことにしておこう。どうしてその田中とかいうやつが僕だと言えるんだ？
消去法です。あなたを除く全員が田中さんがいた時にもこのペンションにいました。でもあなたが来てからは田中さんは目撃されたことがない。
おいおい、だからって僕がそいつだってことにはならんだろ。犯人は今も一生懸命雪中行軍しているって可能性もあるんだから。
そうね。もしあなたのそのヒゲが本物だったら私はこの推理を引っ込めますよ。確かめさせてもらえますよね。
Plot twist, that beard isn't fake. He actually just took a whole lot of artificial testosterone after committing the murder. Mikimoto shot Mari a spiteful glare.
おい、冗談もいい加減にしてくれ。これがつけひげだって。
He stood up and, bringing his face closer to Mari's, gave his beard a sharp tug. After a moment's uncertainty, Mari reached out, grabbed Mikimoto's beard, and gave it a yank. Mari ignored his protests and pulled harder. There was an unpleasant tearing sound as his beard started to peel away from his face. For a second, I wondered if she'd taken his skin off right along with it. But of course, she hadn't. I could clearly see his smooth, unblemished chin peeking through.
やっぱり
Before she could say another word, Mikimoto grabbed her arm and wrenched it behind her back.
Yeah!
Mari screamed out in pain. Mikimoto and Tanaka were the same person after all. Using Mari's body as a shield, he addressed the rest of us.
こんなにあっさりバレちまうとは思わなかったぜ。それもこんな小娘に見抜かれるとはな。
Mikimoto grabbed what remained of his beard and tore it from his face with a single yank. The shape of his chin was unmistakably that of Mr. Tanaka.
じゃあ本当にあんたが。
Kabayashi couldn't bring himself to finish the sentence. Come on, Kabayashi, use your words.
そうだよ。こいつの言った通りさ。俺が死体をあの部屋に運んだ。見破られるはずはないと思ってた。
You see, that was your first mistake. Detectives always coincidentally show up at the scene of the crime for the murder. Well, I guess in this case it wouldn't really be before the murder, since Tanaka's dismembered bits were already in your bag when you showed up. Mari struggled to slip free of Mikimoto's grasp, only to have her arm twisted even harder.
痛い。離してよ。
I mean, she doesn't sound like she's in that much pain.
暴れると腕が折れるぜ。
どうするつもりなの？
Mari's face had gone pale.
さて、どうしたもんかな。こうなっちまった以上、朝まで仲良くってわけにもいかんだろうしな。人質を取って逃げるか、それともお前らみんな死んでもらうか。
You liar, you were gonna do that anyway. Torta sitting in the corner like, ha ha ha, I'm in danger. The matter of fact way he suggested this made my blood go cold.
冗談じゃないわ。
Mari's voice didn't tremble. It really didn't match the face she was making. How could she be so calm? Just as I was thinking that, Mari spun like a ballet dancer, and Mikimoto went flying high into the air. Next thing I knew, he landed on his back in the middle of the lounge coffee table. Shattered cups went flying everywhere. As Mikimoto passed out, his eyes rolling back in his head, I suddenly realized Mari had thrown him. Everyone stood there in stunned silence like a bunch of statues. Seeming to have surprised even herself, Mari turned to me with slight embarrassment.
ご信用にね。合気道を習ってるの。こんなに綺麗に決まるとは思わなかったけど、女だと思って油断したのかしらね。
So it wasn't a judo move, it was an aikido move. Kayama, you were useless here. As if her words had been some sort of signal, everyone started to rush about again. We decided to tie Mikimoto up while he was still unconscious. Kabayashi fetched some clothesline, which Toshio used to securely bind Mikimoto before rolling him onto the floor like a sack of potatoes. That accomplished, everyone collapsed into the lounge sofa as if all the tension had gone out of their bodies.
しかしマリちゃん、すごいじゃないか。推理も鋭かったけど、あの一本背負い。あのでかい体が飛ぶなんて、今でも信じられないよ。
It's a one-armed shoulder throw because they grabbed him by one arm, not because they only used one arm, for those of you who didn't know. Everyone nodded in admiration.
そうや、マリちゃん、探偵事務所でも開けるんと違うか？今度のことで有名になったら、客もぎょうさん来よるで。
That scene showing the lounge from the top almost makes me think the blood and the walls are full of bloodstains. Nah, that's just a shadow.
葉山さんたら冗談ばっかり。
Mari didn't seem entirely sure what to make of Kayama's suggestion.
冗談やあらへん。これ考えやと思うけどな。
Oh, we could go gangbusters. Let's...
あなた、変なこと進めるもんじゃありませんよ。
Kayama, as usual, paid no attention to life's reprimands. As for me, I was a little disappointed. I mean, I'd been starting to figure out the mystery as well. Mari glanced over at me.
そうね。考えてみてもいいかもね。探偵事務所か。ねえ、トール。結構いいと思わない？
Absolutely not. We have enough of you as is.
ああ、うん、そうだね。
Disappointed that Jenny the cat and Painting the duck are getting away with this. Painting the duck is my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog character.
その時はトール、助手にしてあげてもいいわよ。
How kind of her. I glumly watched Mari and the others from the sidelines. She was all aglow. Still, things had turned out okay. Everyone was safe. But wait. I stared at the still unconscious Mikimoto. Why had this man resorted to murder? And who exactly was his victim? Oh well. The police would figure it out eventually. And the answers had nothing at all to do with us. And hey, credits we can actually read, that's dope. Yep. Toru Yajima, did they mention his last name at any point in the entire game? Ryota Osaka. Kenichiro Matsuda, that name, it sounds familiar. Minami Takahashi, Madoka Honda, both pretty big names. Absolutely squandered out here. I feel like we didn't have questions answered, but you're the one who squandered our opportunity on accusing Jenny the cat. It's not my fault. Honestly. I picked the joke answers when we were trying to be serious, and it wound up being... I encouraged you to go for it. I already knew who'd done it. It doesn't count if I pick it. Scenario by Abiko Takamaru, additional scenario by Ryukishi 07, both big names in the mystery sphere besides this. I seriously can't believe Abiko Takamaru is actually the author of this. I've read his debut novel, The Eight Mansion Murders, and it is like the exact... Okay, no, I suppose I'm overselling that a bit. I definitely saw his fingerprints on the... No? 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 But I was saying, yeah, I definitely saw Takamaru's fingerprints on the, like, more comedic bits, but, like, I am surprised to see him writing a, like, serious gory horror story like that. Because the Eight Mansion Murders, and I'm given to understand the rest of the series it's part of, are basically pure slapstick comedy that just so happened to have a good mystery point behind it. Graphics. You. Me? Yes, you. The viewers at home. What do you, the viewers at home, think? Anyway, we have our new lead now. And Ryukishi was involved in this. Yes, Ryukishi. This game was a major inspiration behind Ryukishi's career as a creator, so... when they came out with this new game, this new remake, they did agree to have him, or rather, he did agree to participate in writing some additional scenarios. As they said. Man, look at that guy. Oh, that facial hair. Stuck on with just ordinary Elmer's purple glue. Type that looked like it tasted amazing. Look, his mustache and his beard don't even connect together properly. Honestly, you call that a fake beard? I've seen more impressive setups in drama class in high school. Okay. Yep, here are our translators and their special thanks section. They did not offer us. They did not get anything in return for us. They just made this purely for the sake of giving someone a chance to experience this game after they took the iOS port down. And I thank them for it. That was our own little bit of history. Or rather, it would be if that were the true ending. Or maybe even not that, because there's still a lot we're missing. Maybe when Mikimoto said that he hadn't killed anyone by the name Tanaka, he meant that the victim wasn't Tanaka, not that someone else killed him. Yes, that is what I was saying. I do know that. You figured out a solution to the case, congratulations. Please enjoy the new options now available in the game world. Oh, a novel has now been added. You can select it from the extras screen. I believe, I'm actually not 100% certain about this, but I am given to understand that a novel is Ryukishi 07's extra route. Play now? Not yet. Extras. A novel. Question arc. Yes, this is Ryukishi's. How do we get back to title? Novel Snow Country. A novel is just off to the side. This is so much longer. Here's Mari's detective story. As long as we're in the area, let's actually get this out of the way.
犯人はとっくに部屋を抜け出してたのさ。窓が自動的に割れる仕掛けをした上でね。
Really interested to see the different takes for this story. Oh, different takes is a very good way to phrase it.
自動的に割れる仕掛け
How would something like that work? Alright, let's not be wrong for humor. Let's be right for humor. Yeah. Could they have used snow somehow? I thought back to the moment when I'd suddenly been surprised by the sound of snow falling from the roof, and it suddenly all became clear.
雪だよ。雪を使ったんだ。
Wait, you don't say.
雪
Yuki? Toru's a bit of a dummy anyway. No, we insist on playing him as a dummy. That's not the same thing. There is absolutely nothing stopping us from playing him as just a straight shooter the entire way up to this point. Yep, we can just go back to our room, or we can just hang out with the people. We can not flirt with other women in front of our girlfriend. We can just talk about other people. We can just compliment others. We can be nice to Mr. Kobayashi. We can agree to stay. We can not take credit for the pranks. We can be sensible to a pushy person. We can drink exactly one beer. Yeah, there's no reason we could have been totally normal. But whatever the case.
ああ。本人は外開きの窓の片側から出るとしよう。そしてもう片側は風で煽られても動かない程度に固定しておく。そこに1メートルか2メートルくらいのロープを取っ手に軽く引っ掛ける。 そしてそのロープの反対側には何か平べったい板のようなもの、
Tied to the other end around a flat object like
ス
a
キーバッグの
board.
底板のようなものをつないでおくんだ。
Chad, do you ever get that feeling of deja vu, the feeling that you're re-experiencing something you've experienced before? It's probably nothing.
窓と板をロープでつなぐわけ？それをどうするの？
外へ飛び降りる前にその板は屋根に積もった雪の中に突っ込んでおくのさ。そうすればある程度時間が経った段階で雪は滑り落ち、一緒に板も落ちる。窓は勢いよく引っ張られ、外壁に叩きつけられ、ガシャンというわけだ。
Chad, do you ever get that feeling of deja vu, the feeling that you're re-experiencing something you've experienced before? It's probably nothing.
板とロープは窓から外れて雪の下に埋もれてしまう。
Chad, do you ever get that feeling of deja vu, the feeling that you've
なる
re-experienced?
ほど。じゃあその間に犯人はここからずっと遠く離れたところに行ってアリバイを作っておくことができたわけだ。
そうですね。でもそれだとアリバイとしちゃ不完全でしょ。この天候できちんとしたアリバイの作れる場所まで行くのに一体どれくらいかかります？雪が落ちる時間を正確に予想することは難しいでしょうし、しかも窓が割れた時間を僕たちがはっきりと記憶している必要がある。
確かにひどく偶然を当てにした計画になるわね。
Did we get both struck by lightning at the same time or something? The odds of that are inconceivable, but that's never stopped us before.
犯人はもっと周到な計画を立てていたと思う。いつ窓が割れてもその時間に確固たるアリバイが作れるような、そんな計画をね。
そんなことできるの？
I didn't answer. Instead, I turned and looked at everyone else in the room. One face in particular caught my eye.
この吹雪の中、立ち往生してしまう危険を冒すよりずっといい方法があります。服も髪型も変えてこのペンションに戻ってきて僕たちと一緒に死体を発見する。ねえ、その方がいいと思いませんか？
I don't know why you're trying to stall out here. We got to this sequence in the first place by accusing Mikimoto.
三木本さん。
Everyone immediately turned to look at Mikimoto. He locked eyes with me and didn't move a muscle. I mean, they didn't serve mussels at dinner, so he didn't have one anyway.
田中さんはずっとサングラスをしてましたし、誰とも口を聞こうとしてなかった。サングラスを外し、服を着替えてつけひげをつければ、もう僕たちにはそれが田中さんであるとわからないはずです。
Because truly there was nothing suspicious wearing sunglasses indoors. With everyone staring at him, Mikimoto began to laugh.
それじゃあ僕はまるで怪人二重面相だな。不可能犯罪と変装の名人ってわけか？
変装の名人じゃなくたってそれくらいできますよ。僕たちは誰も田中さんの素顔を知らないんですから。
じゃあそういうことにしておこう。どうしてその田中とかいうやつが僕だと言えるんだ？
消去法です。あなたを除く全員が田中さんがいた時にもこのペンションにいました。でもあなたが来てからは田中さんは目撃されたことがない。
And he was never heard from again. And there he went, never to be heard from again. The most beautiful man I've ever seen.
おいおい、だからって僕がそいつだってことにはならんだろう。犯人は今も一生懸命雪中行軍しているって可能性もあるんだから。
そうですね。もしあなたのそのヒゲが本物だったら僕はこの推理を引っ込めますよ。確かめさせて。
He might have shot me a spiteful glare.
おい、冗談もいい加減にしてくれ。これがつけひげだって。
He stood up and, bringing his face closer to mine, gave his beard a tug. Was my theory wrong after all? After a moment's uncertainty, I reached out, grabbed Mikimoto's beard, and gave it a yank. I ignored his protests and pulled even harder. There was an unpleasant tearing sound as his beard started to peel away from his face. For a second I wondered if I'd taken his skin right off along with it. Of course I hadn't. I could clearly see his smooth, unblushed chin peeking through. Chat, do you ever get that feeling of deja vu at the fan that Before I could say another word, Mikimoto grabbed my arm and wrenched it around behind my back. I gave an involuntary shout of pain. Mikimoto and Tanaka were the same person after all. He now spoke from behind me. Hey, I don't have any sort of look to me, so that statement doesn't really make sense. When gasped as Mikimoto tore off the rest of his fake beard and his fake eyes. Beardless. No beard. No facial hair. Hey Kobayashi, I'm sorry we thought you were a murderer before now. Kobayashi couldn't bring himself to finish the sentence.
こいつの言った通りさ。俺が死体をあの部屋に運んだ。見破られるはずはないと思ってた。こんなところに飛んだ名探偵がいたもんだ。
I'm the viewpoint character, of course I'm a detective. You're gonna get around murdering people in front of me. I struggled to slip free of Mikimoto's grasp and let have my arm twisted even harder.
暴れると腕が折れるぜ。
I trembled as Mikimoto's growled threat. I knew he could do it, and I knew he meant it.
どうするつもりなの?
Ari's face had gone pale.
さて、どうしたもんかな。
The matter-of-fact way he suggested this made my blood go cold.
慣れしてるのかもしれないが、全員を相手にして勝てると思ってるわけじゃないだろうな。
Toshio, please help us. When Toshio challenged him like that, Mikimoto... No, I thought. Call him what he is. The killer sneered.
こいつの腕が折れてもいいんなら、かかってきな。
You know, he hasn't actually threatened to kill us at any point yet. And we do live in a country with properly taxpayer-funded medicine. Toshio is incredibly handsome. On the other hand, I do like my arm. I use it at least 3 times a day. What tells you to save the damsel in distress? Okay. I screamed for Toshio to leap into action.
ああ、そうかい。お前、骨が折れるとどれほど痛いか知らないと見えるな。
Yeah. Not pretending to be evil caused him to age like 5 to 10 years, like right around here. Yeah, being evil is terrible for your skin, don't you know? Mikimoto chuckled under his breath.
人生何事も勉強だ。一つ教えといてやろう。
The next moment, I felt a sharp pain in my wrenched right arm, about halfway between my wrist and elbow. I cried out in agony. Then, writhing, I broke free of Mikimoto's grasp. My right arm now had an extra joint in it, like the leg of some strange animal. My wrists just dangled there, swinging freely. Nausea and dizziness washed over me all at once. I tried desperately not to faint.
大丈夫？
I could faintly hear Mari calling my name from about a million miles away.
大丈夫さ、死にやしねえよ。これで骨の折れる痛みが理解できただろう。さて、腕はもう一本あるな。そっちも折られたいか？
I couldn't believe my ears. The agony I was going through right then was maddening, and now he wanted to break my other arm too. As I stood there with tears of pain and frustration streaming in my face, I was suddenly consumed by an overwhelming rage. How could I let this bastard see me cry?
そんなことさせないわ！
Heard my shouts. Then there were the sounds of bodies colliding. When I looked up through a haze of tears, I could see Mari and Mikimoto grappling with each other. Even though my vision was blurry, it was clear there was no way Mari could prevail against the much larger Mikimoto. I gave a desperate cry and launched myself at Mikimoto from behind. The moment our bodies collided, an intense bolt of pain shot from my arm to my shoulder to my brain. Felt like I was going to pass out from the agony of it all. As I clung to consciousness, I saw Mikimoto turn and look at me in shock. Mikimoto moaned. The moment his attention was distracted, Mari had kicked Mikimoto in the crotch as hard as she possibly could. As she stepped back, Toshio jumped into action and punched Mikimoto dead in the face. But still, he didn't go down. Tomei has acted prematurely. You wouldn't make a very good referee, you know? Then Kobayashi had snuck around behind Mikimoto, got him into a chokehold. Kayab and some of the women soon joined in the fray as well. Just taking a quick moment to appreciate all this foley. It's gonna be a This is one of those infinites you only get in games that don't, like, get playtested properly. It's like I can't fight his Maximum Impact 2 combo up in here, Jesus. The next few moments were filled with the sounds of fighting, screaming, and things breaking. The violent cacophony was like a lullaby to me. Toru loves violence. You blump. My eyes fell shut. I collapsed to the floor, unconscious. When I came to, I was lying in my bed. Damn, it must be really low. Or maybe Mikimoto just has a ridiculous amount of HP. He is the obligatory unplayable final boss character. He's got like a full screen super he can pull off with only 2 meter. Spam projectiles with 0 startup. Pretty sure he can teleport too. Wondered if they'd called a doctor. My right arm was now wrapped in a heavy cast. Mari was asleep in the adjoining bed using her arms as a makeshift pillow. He hasn't visibility. You know, the only thing he can't do is zone. Yep. Poor him. Mari was asleep in the adjoining bed, using her arms as a makeshift pillow. Gradually, I began to remember the events from before I lost consciousness. What had happened after that? I'd have to ask Mari when she woke up. But to be honest, I wasn't in any hurry. Mari stirred in her sleep. Sounded like she'd murmured my name. I could see dried tear stains on her cheeks. Had she been crying because she was worried about me? And had she stayed by my side this whole time? When she finally woke up, there was so much I wanted to hear from her. And so much I wanted to say. More than we could possibly cover in a day. Or a week. Or even a month. A month and a day, maybe. A month and a week, definitely, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. But for right now, I knew the first words I'd say to her. Mari raised her head and rubbed the sleep from her eyes. I looked over at her.
おはよう、マリ。
You figured out a solution, congratulations. Alright, there's that path. Love these options here. He's going to break my arm! He's going to break my arm! He broke my arm. Please don't break my arm. Alright. Let's clear out this little branch as long as we're in the area. Why did Tanaka come to this lodge alone in the middle of nowhere? It's almost like he wanted to be killed. I'm not sure why he said that. Well, you gotta keep in mind that Tanaka, who showed up there to this lodge, was Mikimoto, who did come here specifically for the purpose of pulling off that trick with the sliding plank in order to give himself an alibi. So that Tanaka did come here alone in the middle of nowhere specifically for the purpose of Tanaka's murder. That's my read anyway. I suppose it's not impossible we could be surprised. Anyway, how far back do we want to go? And 1, and 3... Let's try not to break your arm this time. Insist? Okay.
こいつの腕が折れてもいいんならかかってきな。
This Toshio is a big letdown. He's a big lot of things, but a letdown is definitely among them.
トシオさん、今はこいつの言う通りにしておいてください。
I broke into a cold sweat.
やっぱり腕を折られるのは好きじゃないらしいぜ。どうするね、兄さん。
Though he glared at Mikimoto with pure venom, Toshio held back. He probably knew Mikimoto wasn't bluffing. Seeing Toshio trembling with barely controlled rage, I felt guilty for a moment. But when someone was threatening to break my arm, I didn't have much choice.
トールの育児だし、腕が何よ。そいつはみんなを殺すかもしれないのよ。
How's he gonna do that while he's holding my arm? Mari's voice pierced my heart. It's just an arm. Just an arm. I repeated these words in my mind like an incantation. It wasn't just me. Mari was in danger too. I couldn't let this bastard do whatever he wanted. I screamed out with all my might.
トシオさん、早くこいつを取り押さえてください。僕のことは気にしないで。
Alright, that accomplished nothing. Still broke her arm. And we specifically asked him not to do that too. Honestly, how rude can a human being be? I stew in frustration, knowing there's nothing I could do because of my broken arm. The very next moment, Mari spun like a ballet dancer, and Mikimoto went flying high into the air. It was like I was watching it all happen in slow motion. Next thing I knew, Mikimoto landed on his back atop the lounge coffee table. Shattered cups went flying everywhere. As Mikimoto passed out, his eyes rolling back in his head, I suddenly realized Mari had thrown him. Everyone stood there in stunned silence, like a bunch of statues. Even Mari herself seemed a little shocked. This just leads to a command grab with a tag at infinite. Sad. Yeah, it's not particular. I mean, hey, look on the bright side, at least it's more complicated than Ken's flowchart. No one's just crouching in the corner spamming Hadokens until somebody gets in close. She turned to me, slightly embarrassed.
ご信用にね、合気道を習ってるの。こんなに綺麗に決まるとは思わなかったけど、女だと思って油断したのかしらね。
As if her words had been some sort of signal, everyone started to rush about. Meanwhile, Mari and Kyoko got out the first aid kit and put a splint on my broken arm. That accomplished, everyone collapsed onto the lounge sofas, as if all the tension had gone out of their bodies.
しかしマリちゃん、すごいじゃないか、あの一本。
My grand unraveling of the mystery seemed to have been forgotten in light of Mari's achievements. God, it's like I'm actually browsing Detective Conan fan forums in 2006. After revealing how I'd come to suspect Mikimoto and then how I saw through his tricks, I figured I'd be basking in adulation right now. It was a little disappointing. That was okay. Everyone was safe. God, my eyes.
痛くない？
It's so weird. I can't see. Chat. I can only see white. I didn't. Is there dialogue? Oh, it's right. Dad, Mari looked at me with concern. My broken arm was burning, and my head felt like it was stuffed with cotton.
格好良かったわよ。
She thinks I'm cool.
そんなことないだろう。マリの方がずっと。
そんなことない。もしトールが犯人を見破ってなかったら、今夜私たち生き延びられたかどうかわからないわ。
Seems like a bit of an assumption. I mean, it's one that's correct, as we all know now, but, you know, I hadn't considered that. Had I really saved everyone's life?
おまじないしてあげる。
Oh my god, she's a witch. Burn her! Burn the witch! It was true. I'd forgotten all about the pain in my arm. I didn't even care about the bloody events of that evening. Tanaka or Suzuki or whatever his name is... his life was a complete waste of my time. His death was worth it if it meant I got a mild smooch. I only had one complaint.
また痛くなってきた。もう一回おまじないしてくれない？
Gonna get anything new out of this? You figured out a solution to the case. Congratulations, please enjoy the new options. Alright, he did in fact break her arm. Alright. Let's dig up the rest of this
死体をバラバラ
case.
にする時間はなかったけど、 田中さんを殺すだけならできたはずだ。
そりゃまあ殺しのプロなら一瞬で人を殺すくらいのことはできるでしょうけど、じゃあその後死体はいつバラバラになったの？
Mari asked the obvious question.
例えばだね、首とか肩とか切断したいところに特殊な仕掛けを取り付けておくんだ。時間が経つとじわじわと締まって体を切断するような仕掛けさ。形状記憶合金とかで刃物を作ればできないことはないと思う。
I mean, given the things he did in this game, he might as well be a professional assassin. Mikimoto is no amateur. That's clearly true. Still haven't figured out his motive. That's certainly interesting. Isn't it? I was fairly confident in my reasoning. But instead of being impressed, everyone just looked at me with deep disappointment.
形状記憶合金？そんなものどこにもなかったわよ。
Well, you weren't looking for it, now were you, my child?
もちろん切断が終わった頃を見計らってそういった仕掛けは回収するのさ。
いつ？そんな機会はなかったわよ。三木本さんは一回上に上がっただけよ。
By the way, Dr. Mdoy, what's that Ace Attorney fan game? The one we're playing on Sunday, I believe. It's made by the same author who wrote all of the short stories I've used for... all of the short stories I used for... like, Sunday night reading streams back when those were a thing I did regularly. I haven't played it yet. It's a new release. It's the most recent thing he's done. So I can't really tell you much more than that. Than that, I'm pretty sure it was an application for a contest.
発見の時も部屋には入ってないし、だいたい殺すのはともかく、そんな仕掛けをセットするのって切断するのと同じくらい時間かかるんじゃない？
This wasn't going well. Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything until I'd thought it all the way through. Do you think you might do those night reading streams again? I'd like to. I would really like to, but copyright concerns means there's a very limited amount of stuff I can actually apply to. Dwam agreeing to let me just take his entire output for that sake was a real godsend. I appreciate that quite a bit. Anyway, I went silent for a few moments, then couldn't bear it any longer. I got off the couch, prostrated myself on the floor, and started begging for forgiveness.
三木本さん、すみません。大した根拠もないのに犯人呼ばわりなんかして、なんて言って謝ったらいいのか。
I might have gone a little overboard there. Mikimoto seemed embarrassed by it all.
いや、いいんだよ。こんな状態じゃお互いを疑い合うのも当然だ。よく知らない人間の方が怪しく見えるだろうしね。気になんかしてないよ。
Man, Mikimoto's so nice. He's a real great stand-up guy, isn't he? While it was a relief to hear him say that, I thought he must have minded at least a little. But since we barely knew each other, it's not like there was some deep sense of betrayal when I'd accused him. It served as a good object lesson for me that I should be more careful in the future. That's right. No one here seemed capable of hurting a fly. I'd be crazy to start suspecting them. No one present on this screen right now is a murderer. Now the killer must have escaped outside, that's all there was to it. Just a hardened criminal with zero relation to anyone here in the lodge. Alright, what next? Okay, that's all the branches over here. 1, 2, 3. Didn't pick this branch either.
三木本さんが
I was going
実
to,
はもっ
but
と早く到着していたとしたら、
Otome joked around and
田中さん
coincidentally
をバ
jumped
ラ
on
バ
the
ラにする
correct
ことが可能に
answer.
なる。
I looked straight at Mikimoto as I said this. And he looked right back at me. Mariko trying to defuse our little staring contest. Man, I was just about to win, too.
もっと早く？じゃあ夕食後すぐ田中さんの部屋に窓から忍び込んで時間をかけて死体をバラバラにしたっていうこと？
そうさ。
ちょっと待ってくれないか？
Kobayashi interrupted us.
君は彼が夕食後に電話をかけてきたことを忘れてるよ。いいかい？彼は外からここに電話をかけてきたんだよ。君の推理によると2階で死体をバラバラにしていたはずの時間にね。
Damn it, I'd forgotten about that.
それはですね、あれですよ。携帯電話を使ったんでしょ。
You know, those things that don't work out here.
ダメだよ。携帯電話はこの辺りじゃ使えないと言っただろう。それに近くには民家もなけりゃ公衆電話もない。死体をバラバラにして町と往復するには時間が足りない。
This wasn't going well. Oh, wait, if that was the case, then how did he manage to make the call? He was definitely in the lodge at the time. He was talking... He was living as Tanaka, I should say. Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything until I thought it all the way through. Went silent for a few moments. There we go. Alright, that's that branch complete. Look at this flowchart. This thing's so ugly. Look at it. I've seen 100% runs of Zero Escape that made more sense than this. Where are we right now? Alright, that means we get to do the fun bit again. We're all the way up here. Time to accuse people we know are innocent. Wow, this chart is actually bigger than I thought. This game is a lot bigger than you seem to think. Alright, any requests? Any requests? Do we want to accuse Kobayashi, Kayama? You can see what hotkeys I have set up now. Part-time ago. Midori. Midori it is.
犯人はみどりさんだ。
So I declared.
みどりさん？でもみどりさんには死体をバラバラにするような時間はなかったはずよ。
I countered my accusation.
十分な根拠もなしに人を犯人呼ばわりするなんて最低よ。
I had no response to that. After all, these were serious allegations I was making. I decided to think it over again.
今度は何？
いや、
Well, that was anticlimactic. I didn't want to stick my foot in my mouth again, so I demurred. But I just recalled something incredibly important. When the window had broken, there was only one person who wasn't in the lounge. Are they gonna do that for everyone? I hope not. That would be very lazy of you. So I declared.
おじさん？でも十分な根拠。
Alright, there we go. Come on, give me something to work with.
犯人は田中さんだ。
I finished speaking, there was uncomfortable silence.
ねえ、トール、何言ってるの？犯人って田中さんを殺した犯人のことでしょ？その犯人が田中さんって一体どういう意味なのよ？
まさか自殺したんやとか言うんやないやろな。
Actually, that is what I was suggesting. Thank you for having a basic understanding of cause and effect. After Kayama was done speaking, Toshi could barely contain himself.
自殺？自分で自分をバラバラにする方法があるんなら教えてもらいたいね。
I mean, it was good for Rumpelstiltskin.
自殺したと言ってるわけじゃありません。僕は田中さんを殺した犯人が分かったと言ったつもりはありませんよ。 いいですか。僕たちはみんな勘違いしてたんです。2階にあるあの死体は田中と名乗って宿泊したあの人ではないんです。
田中さんじゃないって？
Kobayashi looked baffled.
じゃあ一体誰だというんだい？
それは僕にも分かりません。
なるほど。犯人が分かった代わりに今度は被害者が分からなくなったってわけか。
I mean, we could be, if we felt like making an accusation. But this seems interesting. Toshio laughed derisively.
しかしそいつは変じゃないか。
Kobayashi raised an eyebrow.
被害者が田中さんでないのなら一体どこから入ったというんだ？
もちろん正面ドアからですよ。
Okay,
そんなはずはない。
recycled voice
ドアが
clips.
開けば
それはそうでしょう。
一体何を言ってるんだ？あの人は一人だったよ。間違いない。
Kobayashi confirmed his recollection, angrily.
スキーバッグの中を確かめましたが、被害者はその中にいたんですよ。
We're definitely on the right track. I'm curious if they're going to let us actually reconnect to the path at this point. Or if, by not accusing Mikimoto, we've already screwed it.
じゃあ死体をバラバラにしたのは。
Mari started to catch on.
そう。運びやすくするためだったんだ。だいたいあんな短時間で人間をあそこまでバラバラにできるわけがなかったんだ。マリ、あの脅迫状を覚えているかい？
ええ。
Piece of paper the girl's been
あれ
raising
の
a
文
fuss
面からする
about.
と
ちょっと待って。
ちょっと違う。2階から
確かによう考えて。
Kayama strokes his chin.
僕たちの注意を引く。
どうしてそんなことを？
実際の犯行時間を誤認させてアリバイを作るためだよ。
アリバイ？でも
もちろんあの時
自動的。
Something like that. Use the snow. And even though we didn't accuse... Even though we didn't accuse Mikimoto, he just accused Mikimoto. I suppose that would be the logical outcome.
犯人はあいつだ。
あいつって誰よ？
Mari gave me a strange look. So we can't accuse the actual
さ
victim.
っき
ちょっと
何よ？
ごめん。犯人はアキちゃんだ。
アキさん？十分なこ。
Guess accusing Tanaka was technically correct, since the Tanaka who showed up was, in fact, the culprit in disguise. Can we accuse the
犯人
author?
はあいつだ。
Nope, okay. Well, I tried. That appears to be all we have. They did tell us that we unlocked some extra stuff by getting those 2 endings. I guess there's 3 endings, but, you know, what actually opened. But that feels like a big production, so let's save that for later. Which I suppose means by process of elimination that the stream will be ending tonight. I mean, the stream is going to have to end at some point anyway. I do in fact need to eat. But more importantly, Today we'll be re-rating... someday I'm going to actually learn how to talk while I'm on stream. Today we'll be rating Pyrian Plays, because it is his 1-year anniversary as a streamer today. So please go in and give him well wishes. The Stream Doctor, has been lots of fun. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Take good care of yourself, you take good care of yourself, and please remember to wish Pyrian a happy anniversary when we arrive. Good night, everybody. And bye-bye.